West Virginia and Neal Brown have agreed on a contract extension that will keep Neal Brown as the coach in Morgantown for at least one more year. What are the details of that extension, and is it a good idea? Well, we're going to talk about all of that, and we're going to do it right after this word from my sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode is brought to you by Dutch Miller Automotive, where friends and family pricing means you get the best deal right up front on any new or pre-loved vehicle in stock every time. With brands like Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Kia, Hyundai, Ford, GMC, Buick, and Subaru, the Dutch Miller Automotive family is always growing and ready to put you in the car or truck you've been searching for. Check out our inventory across West Virginia at DutchMillerAuto.com or come in today to the home of friends and family pricing, only at a Dutch Miller Automotive store near you. What is up? Come on in. Welcome to another edition of Couz's Corner. Belly yourself up to the bar, make yourself comfortable, and let me pour you out this shot of top-shelf college football content. On tap today at Couz's Corner, we're discussing the contract extension that West Virginia announced today for head football coach Neal Brown. Now, a lot of fans have taken to social media and are not in favor of this move. And on the surface, if you just look at it on the surface, you might think, man, why in the world would they extend a coach who's coming off really only one good season as the coach in 5 years? Why would you do that? Well, you've got to dig into the details. I actually think this is an absolute home run move by Wren Baker and the program, the school, and even for Neal Brown. I think it's a win-win for everybody involved, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But first, I want to go over the details of this. First, I'm going to read an article to you about this from WVSportsNow, written by Mike Osti about this. And as you'll see, this is an ad-free article over at WV Sports Now. How was that possible? Well, by joining the Holler. If you join the Holler at WV Sports Now, you get access to ad-free content. You get access to behind-the-scenes VIP content, Q&As, stuff for only the Holler members. If you use promo code Couz at WV Sports Now, you get that Holler membership for just $20.99 for a year. What's the regular fee? $34.99 for 1 year. But if you use Couz as a promo code at checkout, you get a 40% discount. Now let's keep going. The article by Mike says, breaking, WVU football head coach Neal Brown agreed to contract extension. A year after being on the hot seat, Neal Brown has a new contract extension at WVU. West Virginia announced a 1-year extension of Brown's contract on Tuesday morning. Brown's new deal will keep him under contract through the 2027 season. Here you see the tweet by West Virginia Football. It says, WVU Vice President and Director of Athletics Wren Baker and Neal Brown have agreed to terms on a 1-year extension that keeps Coach under contract through the 2027 season. It says WVU Director of Athletics offered his thoughts about Brown as part of the press release with the news. I am pleased with the progress I've seen in our football program since arriving last year, Baker said. I believe this contract amendment allows us to continue to build on our momentum as we begin our first year in the new and expanded Big 12 Conference. I'm appreciative of the effort Coach Brown and his staff put into developing the young people in our program both on and off the field, end quote. Below includes Brown's own words on his new deal to stay in Morgantown. My first priority was retaining and rewarding our assistant coaches and support staff who have played such a critical role in our success, Brown said. I appreciate Wren's support on that front as well as his continued commitment to me and what we are building. We share a common vision for this program, and that alignment is critical to our continued success. There are great things ahead, and I can't wait to see our incredible fans back in Milan Puskar Stadium on August 31st, end quote. The hype around the 2024 Mountaineers stems from the WVU's surprising success in 2023 and the fact most of the key contributors are returning. West Virginia finished 9-4, including a Duke's Mayo Bowl win and 6-3 in Big 12 play. Garrett Green is now being recognized by some experts as one of the best quarterbacks in all of college football. Now I will share with you a few of the details of this contract extension that I was able to get from over at 24/7 Sports. Now, I'm not going to give you the whole article here because it is behind the paywall, but I will give you some of the highlights and some of the high-level primary points and details of this extension. First, the obvious, and that's the contract extends by 1 year through 2027. Brown was in contract through 2026. What this does, it enables him to go into living rooms when he's on the recruiting trail and say, hey, I'm locked in for the next 4 years. So when your young man comes and plays for me, when he's talking to a parent, he says, when your young man comes and plays for me, I will be here his entire 4 years if he chooses to spend his entire 4 years in Morgantown. Now, with the transfer portal and NIL, it's rare that guys stay 4 years anymore, but yet West Virginia still looks at itself as a developmental program. And they're going to put the focus, and they've shown that with NIL, they're going to put the focus on trying to retain players for 3 and 4 years. If they can do that, then this is going to matter. Now, here's another key point. We all remember what got Shane Lyons fired from West Virginia, or probably the biggest reason was that contract, that guaranteed contract he gave Neal Brown after that 2020 season, where Neal finished 6-4. That was during the pandemic year. That got Shane Lyons in some hot water because Neal Brown went on to have 2 straight losing seasons after that, and the fan base was not happy, and apparently neither was the administration. But there was actually some language in this contract. In exchange for giving Neal Brown an additional year, West Virginia, in return, took that guaranteed buyout and moved it down. The buyout, which was guaranteed at a 100% through December 31st, 2024, meant if Coach Brown got fired at any point during the 2024 calendar year, he would receive 100% of what was remaining on his contract. If he got fired after 2024, basically January 2025 on, then he was 85% of his remaining contract. Well, the buyout in this new deal has been reduced across the board. Regardless of when he gets fired, West Virginia only has to pay him 75% of the remaining amount of his contract. So, yes, they gave him an additional year. And, yes, he's obviously getting paid for that one additional year. However, the buyout is no longer guaranteed, and I think that's important. That's the one thing the fan base was pissed off about a couple years ago was, why did we give this guy a guaranteed contract? Well, guess what? It's no longer 100% guaranteed. And Neal Brown signed off on this. But he's getting something in return too. Right now, in this new contract, Neal Brown can leave West Virginia at any time. If he gets offered another job, he can leave, and he will only owe West Virginia 10% of his remaining salary. That's all he would have to pay. Now, in the previous contract, before the amendment, in the original contract, it was 25% of his salary if he left on or before December 31st, 2024, and then 12.5% if he left on January 1st, 2025 or later. So now instead of the tier, it's one flat 10% regardless of when he leaves. Now let's talk money. Now this is, in my opinion, what makes this contract extension so freaking awesome, other than the buyout piece. But this right here shows me 2 things. One, Neal Brown is absolutely 100% confident in his ability to get the job done at West Virginia and win football games because he's betting on himself. And 2, it shows that he is willing to take sacrifices and do what's best for the football program as a whole and for his assistant coaches, as he said in his statement, which I'll get to in a second. But Brown basically took a $400,000 pay cut over the course of this contract. Now, most of that's on the front end, though, but still, he's taking a $400,000 pay cut. It's about 2.5% ballpark of his salary. He's losing. And he's doing it voluntarily. He didn't have to agree to this. His previous contract would have paid him $4.1 million in 2024, $4.2 million in 2025, and $4.4 million in 2026. The new deal is 4 years and a total of $16.7 million. You break it down, he gets $4 million in 24, $4 million in 25, and then a total of $8.7 million over the final 2 years, which averages out to about $4.35 million each year. So he took a $400,000 bath in that first 3 years of the contract in order to get that extra year added on so that he can go into living rooms and recruit. And he also took that $400,000 pay cut so that he can pay more money to his assistant coaches and his staff, which is absolutely 100% critical in my opinion. West Virginia is next to last, or at least near last, near the bottom in the Big 12 in assistant coach and staff salaries. If you want to compete in today's climate, in today's landscape of college football, that's not going to get it done. Neal Brown knows that. Rim Baker knows that. And they did something about it. And Neal Brown was willing to sacrifice, knock a little bit off of his salary to make sure his assistants got paid more money. And I think that is an absolute home run move. Coaching, consistency, Lack of turnover on coaching staffs is very important for building a program, for building a culture, maintaining a culture. If you have a revolving door of coaches every single year, you're going to have a revolving door of players that follows it, and you may have a harder time maintaining your locker room culture. Neal Brown knows that. Ren Baker gets that. And they both, again, each gave a little bit. Each side gave a little. I give credit to Coach Brown. I give credit to his agent. And I give a lot of credit to Ren Baker in getting this deal done. I think it's a home run move. Absolutely home run move. I want to know what you think about it, though. Do you think this is a home run move that Neal Brown and Ren Baker pulled off this contract extension? Do you agree with it, or do you not agree with it? Maybe you're on the side that doesn't agree with it. And if you are, that's totally fair. Also, I want to give a shout out real quick to my VIP members of the day. If you want to become a VIP member here at Couz's Corner, all you have to do is hit the join button below. If you don't see a join button, there's a link to my channel page in the description box where you can go and join there. It's $2.99 a month for the pub level, $4.99 for club level. There are perks that go along with each, including VIP member shout-outs. The shout-outs of the day are Shannon Miller, Dustin Saltz, Luke Armacost, and Mountaineer Mama. Thank all four of you for being VIP members here at Couz's Corner. Thank you for supporting what I'm doing here and helping me to keep the lights on. It's much appreciated. Again, if you want to join the holler, get a 40% discount, go to WVSportsNow.com, leave a discount code Couz at checkout. You'll get it for $20.99 for the first year instead of the full price of $34.99. That's a 40% decrease, 40% reduction in cost for those who watch my channel. You can also check out the video that's on the screen right now if you want to hear more about West Virginia football. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. Have a top shelf day, and cue Country Roads.